It's my favorite day of the year, the 4th of July. So I decided to make this little video for you guys to watch while I'm off grilling meat, drinking beer, and blowing shit up. We all know Braviary is hands down the single most American Pokemon there ever was or ever will be. So American, as a matter of fact, that I made a video all about it 2 years ago today. Well, this time we're going to talk about the 5 most American Pokemon out there after Braviary. It might seem like there aren't a whole lot of Pokemon out there that fit this criteria, but you might be surprised with what I've found. Here we go! Number 5! Let's kick it off with Staryu. Obviously, looking like a star was the first thing that caught my eye when I was deciding on Pokemon for this list. Stars are a pretty recurring symbol when it comes to the whole US of A. Our flag is covered in them, with each one representing one of the 50 states in the Union. But that's not all there is to Staryu. When I watched the battle between Ash and Misty in the Pokemon anime as a kid, Staryu always reminded me of an Olympic swimmer, the way it darted around the man-made swimming pool and how it would pop out of the water and strike a pose. Well, Olympic swimming is about American as it gets, seeing as how we absolutely crush everyone else at it. USA! 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 Number 4! Vanillux. Growing up in the cancer-inducing heat of Florida summers, there was no treat quite like a freezing cold ice cream cone. Ice cream, sweets, and junk food in general are a staple of American culture, which is why we're probably one of the fattest countries in the world. But hey, that's just a part of being a free nation, right? Don't believe me? Just ask my idol, Ron Swanson.
The whole point of this country is if you want to eat garbage, balloon up to 600 pounds, and die of a heart attack at 43, you can. You are free to do so. To me, that's beautiful.
Vanillux also happens to be a Generation 5 Pokemon, and as a lot of you may know, Gen 5's Unova region was based on New York, so the designers probably recognized ice cream as a significant part of American culture. While not one of my favorite designs, Vanillux represents the most heaping glorious ice cream cone piled high like you used to get when you were a kid, and there's something just so Americana about that. Number 3! Here's an interesting one. Scrafty doesn't immediately scream America, but when you think about it, he represents a couple of different subcultures that either originated or were quite popular in the United States. Scrafty is a lizard, an animal which can of course be found worldwide, but his shedding skin creates the look of sagging pants and a hoodie, a style which has its roots in American urban youth culture. Holy shit, how old do I sound right now? A lot of lizards have a crest on their head, and Scrafty's happens to create the shape of a mohawk, which can be attributed to the punk rock movement that took off in the late 70s in the UK and became a staple of American youth counterculture by the 80s. Of course, Scrafty is a Gen 5 Pokemon like Vanillux, so it makes sense that the designers would create this amalgam of different American subcultures to fit in with the Unova region. Number 2! Here in the US of A, we sure do love our boxing, and boxing is what Hitmonchan is all about. So many successful boxers have been a huge influential part of American culture, like Mike Tyson, George Foreman, and Muhammad Ali. And speaking of George Foreman, is there anything more American than a boxer who retired from punching people to create his own grill? A fun fact about Hitmonchan is that it has to rest after 3 minutes of non-stop punching, which is a reference to the rounds in boxing which fighters must endure before taking a break. Creepily enough, some of Hitmonchan's Pokedex entries state that it's possessed by the spirit of a world champion boxer that will never give up in the face of adversity. Sure sounds like the American spirit if you ask me. Number 1! You know, as much as I've complained about Bouffalante's design in the past, it really is an incredibly American Pokemon. First off, the buffalo were extremely abundant in the early days of American history. That is until we wiped most of them the fuck out. But hey, a bunch of early pioneers would have never made it out west if it weren't for the readily available supply of buffalo meat, meaning that some of us might not even be here today. Incidentally, the American buffalo was made the national mammal of this fair land earlier in 2016. This thing is almost as American as Braviary. Well, not only is Bouffalante a great American Pokemon simply for being a buffalo, its hairstyle propels it to the top of this list with flying colors. I may not be a fan of giving Pokemon extremely human qualities like hairstyles, but you can't deny the afro hairstyle is as American as they come. The style was popularized in the United States in the 60s during the Civil Rights Movement almost as a political symbol. It represented African American pride and the idea of returning to more natural black aesthetics, seeing as how this style is just simply untouched hair. Slap a symbolic American hairstyle on a symbolic American animal and boom! You've got yourself one hell of an American Pokemon. Braviary and Chuck Norris would be proud. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video about American Pokemon because I just sure love being an American, damn it. It's the best thing ever! If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel or I'll kill you! And if you really like this channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon. For a small donation, you can get cool stuff like shoutouts and your name in the credits and other cool gifts, so check that out, there's a link down in the description. Speaking of which, shoutouts for this month go to Raimachu, The Icarus Gambit, Randall Schultz, Maro Ochi, Wayne Hamilton, Poodlekin 500, Angel Freisinger, Risa, Dylan, Mika Bunny, Air Experience, Felix Day, Koyoya, Cameron Carlton, Jake Hester, Stooge, and Trainer Golds.